What is going on, everyone? This is Orange Juice joining you live in Paris for the ESWC tournaments here with Nick and Knight.
Hey, what's going on, guys? We're about to start Group 4 here. We've taken a little break, and now we've got some intense matchups about to be going underway. I want to go ahead and pull up, before we get into that here, as those players will be starting relatively soon, the results from the first session of the day that we watched. OJ, what'd you feel about that one?
Well, Master Mateo did a really good job with everything. He just had such great control of lane control, card counting, elixir counting. He was just dominating everything. He went 5-0 in the Swiss bracket.
Yep, so right here I've got it pulled up. You can see this is Group 3. That was earlier today. Mateo with 5 straight wins. We had a lot of people here with 8 points, so I assume that they are ranked properly. But if there is some tiebreakers to be held over here, then we'll be seeing those carried out with the 5th and 6th place players. Now, when we jump into really quick here, the Group 4, just so you can get a look at some of these names. You may know some of them. We've got some big names here. Personally recognize Nova Trevor coming out of Canada. We've got Ivan Lee. We've got Baby Star. This is going to be quite the day. We also have
Surgical Goblin
right down here. So there are going to be a bunch of big names going on today. So we're back here, and we're going to be jumping into the first matchup. Oh, lock my chair.
It's just a little bit of a coincidence that some of the best players are in this bracket. So this is going to be one of the tightest brackets.
It's going to be intense. I'm excited for this one here. We're going to get some really good matchups, and we're going to go ahead and jump in with, it looks like we're starting up. Are these guys going to be requesting? Yeah, this is going to be intense. I don't know who the first matchup is, but oh my gosh.
So this is the 5th group and the final group.
Yeah.
And it's a group of...
4th group.
The 4th and final group of 32 players. And the top 4 of each group is going to be facing off tomorrow for top 6. It's a 16 bracket player.
Yeah, so tomorrow we're taking the best of the best, 4 players from the first 3 groups. This is the 4th group right now. They're all going to be facing off in a bracket format, and then they're going to be whittling down to the top 4. $10,000 prize divided amongst the top 4, which we will talk about in a little bit here. We got Ram and Ivan. Let's see how this one plays out.
It's going to be a very intense match. He's going in with the princess in the back. And then a Lava Hound right already in the beginning. This is going to be a very intense match.
Princess doing princess things.
That's exactly right.
Okay, let's see how this one plays out here. He's going to definitely pressure that opposite lane because if you just let the Hound build up, that just wouldn't make sense.
And with that Ice Spirit freezing the tower, that Hog's going to get more than 1 hit off. 2 hits off, and that is a value Hog Rider.
Also takes the Mega Minion away from the Hound push.
What a value log. Takes out the Princess and disables the Ice Wizard for a couple seconds, so that Hound doesn't do quite as much damage. It's going to pop soon, but a Miner is still up. Pup gets 1 hit on the tower. That's 500 health off. But that Hog Rider push from Ram K did more damage than that Lava Hound push altogether.
Yeah, even though it doesn't have arrows or something for the pups, Ice Wizard Mega Minion really takes it out well.
Even better that Ice Wizard clips some of the skeletons, so that Hog Rider's going to get 2 hits off again.
Wow.
Shaving off 1,000 damage in under 1 minute, or a little bit over 1 minute. So,
hey, it's all the same in OJ time. Okay, clear battlefield. Let's see who gets what into the arena first. We still haven't seen the last 2 cards. You have to assume there's a couple spells in Ram's hand.
There's a very high chance that his opponent has a Lightning in that Lava Hound deck. It just makes so much sense to have that, especially if they're expecting an Inferno Tower.
Yeah, or Minions or Minion Horde maybe
Mega
that he's
Minion.
saving for, because he's got the Mega Minion already shown, but generally there's 2 air support cards for Lava Hound decks, but it could be not. The Tombstone hasn't come out yet. The Hog's going straight to the tower. He doesn't care. He drops the Lightning.
That Hog is going to get demolished that tower right there with no Tombstone in play. It's going to get 1 more hit, takes down the tower. Lava Hound doesn't do much damage, but the Miner comes in to support the Lava Pups right now.
I think they're just going to trade towers there, yep.
That was a very aggressive push on both of their parts.
Oops, and well played. Princess Ice Wizard just to make sure the King Tower is safe. Now it's a different game. Now we can see the Hound be deployed on to Ram's side. But Ivan elects to put it on his side a little bit closer up.
It's kind of interesting because if he can cycle back to the Lava Hound, he can have the Lava Hound tank for the Lava Pups.
Yeah, we saw that last round, or last group. That was pretty crazy. It's like the ultimate tank.
Ice Wizard in the back, slowing things down. He has 35% slow right there, so the Lava Hound's not doing any damage at all to the tower. But that Miner comes in to support the Lava Pups that are just going to pop right now.
Will we see, oh no, I was going to say, will we see Arrows trying to clip Skeleton Army and Princess, but just a log.
That Hog Rider just keeps bypassing everything. Gets the Tombstone doesn't do quite as much damage. Even the Mega Minion hitting the tower or the Hog Rider, that Hog Rider still got one strike off, and he's slowly chipping away with that Hog Rider, but the pups just popped.
I gotta assume that the Hog deck has like a lightning spell or something that he can't justify using because he's only seeing the Mega Minion or the Rocket or something like that. Because if it was arrows, he'd be throwing it at the Hound. If it was Zap, he'd be zapping the pups.
Yeah, there we go. So we got the log.
Is it log Rocket? If it is, he's getting close.
There is a very high chance there could be a Rocket in this deck, just because the tower hasn't been justified.
Yeah, there's been no reason yet. Okay, this is a good push here. Oh.
Lightning on the Hog Rider.
The log missed that Hog Rider, I think.
That was a very expensive log mistake.
Let's see if there's a Rocket. Oh,
there
baby.
is a Rocket.
Oh, man.
That is your 11th prediction for today. You need to collaborate with me to make an OJ video on how to predict these decks, because there's actually a really complicated thought process when you're kind of thinking about that.
I'm kind of just thinking out loud, but I don't say, obviously, everything going through my head, but it's just, kind of going through the situations like, would I have thrown this or this? And then you have to look if it was like a Lightning or Rocket and it's not justifiable. Maybe if you had some other air support with the Hound, it would have came out earlier in the match, but pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, just like the way they're playing these certain cards, and it just kind of all adds up together, and that's your 11th prediction. You haven't done anything wrong.
Better than me. All right, so that was the first one.
They're just kind of building up their decks right now.
Yeah.
And I believe the loser has to change to the second deck. Is that right?
I don't know.
I know that they only have 2 decks. So.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we've been seeing some subtle and dramatic
so
variations. So
they're about to start the match.
We're
going to put that onto the screen. Both of them sitting at 10 elixir. Going in with an aggressive miner just to chip away. Is he just going to leave it alone? No, those archers are going to prevent some damage. And now he's going to have to deal with those archers.
What kind of cards would you justify rocketing a tower to take out to just deal some damage if you're sitting at 10?
It would have to be at least 4 elixir worth of cards for me.
Okay.
It really depends on the situation, though. The tower health, your opponent's hand, and everything. And that princess right there is just so much value taking out the pups. Despite him having an Inferno Tower, that lightning just took it out so fast.
So we've seen both players change, right? Yeah. Interesting here. The miner control instead of the Hog Rider. We don't know all of it, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah. So the Tombstone is out of rotation. So Rom could play a Hog Rider if he has it right now.
Nice skeletons.
Just value kiting right there, pulling the Mega Minion for 1 elixir.
It's almost just sad watching it just slowly try to look at the skeletons as it goes across the arena.
So futile.
Yeah. Like, please come back.
So with the miner chipping away slowly at these towers, anything could happen, especially with the Lava Hound push. It's just one big push could win the game. 25 seconds until there's double elixir time, so it could be some heavier pushes.
And we've seen that placement on the Inferno before in the last couple days here. It tanks for the pups quite well after it takes down the Lava Hound. If it was in a different spot right now, the pups could have been on the tower while the Mega Minion was dealing with that miner.
Just look at how far the pups had to travel before it could reach the Mega Minion. So that was a very calculated plant on the Inferno Tower just to tank everything. And planting it so front forward allowed that Inferno Tower to engage onto the lava and reach max damage faster.
Would you say that's a little riskier because if the Hound is backed up by something?
Absolutely. It was a lot more riskier, but it wasn't double elixir at the time, so it wasn't quite as much risk.
Double elixir, double the risk.
Exactly. It's very fast-paced. Princess, is she going to get logged, or is he just going to leave it be?
Oh, she's going way wide. It's actually kind of better she targeted the archers.
Miner going in, tanking for the pups. Rom was forced to fireball, but 2 pups still survive. That 1 pup just doing so much damage to that tower.
And you know he wants that fireball to be going down when he sends the miner in, but he had to use it on defense there.
That's a very aggressive frontal plant for the princess. He was forced to use arrows for the first time. He didn't have time to react.
And what will we see out of his last card that we haven't seen yet here? Oh, lightning comes raining down. The Inferno still stands.
With that log,
he's got a fireball. Yep.
He had to fireball those pups.
Oh, the log was the last card, but he can't get it deployed to where it hits the tower. And right now, it is 346, the magic number, which is in range. All we have to do is wait for 6 elixir.
Unless he loses to that tower. No, That was quite a close match. And
That was good.
One of the biggest points in that game was when he got attacked by that miner, and he had skeletons to counter it. And Mega Minion to chip the miner, but that miner still did over 200 damage, bringing the tower down to 250 health.
Yeah.
And the lightning does 346 damage at tournament standard.
It seems like that's the hot number when it comes to game-ending spells lately. Lightning's been quite the game decider.
Lightning, just getting the tower down to 346, and you're almost guaranteed. Of course, we've seen some crazy comebacks today.
Yeah, there's been just like, what did we call it? Was the Trimax match. We were calling it like, oh man, he's just going to get lightning cycled. And then he came back and won because of that constant at the bridge pressure. Just crazy stuff.
Bowler on the front. And then he eventually cycled to that. And
then he lightninged for the win, I think.
He did.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
I'll
take it.
For the next 2 minutes, I was 100% sure that Trimax was going to lose. But he didn't give up, he didn't falter, and he got the tower somehow.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we're going to be in for a surprise here. These aren't blowouts at all. Very close 1-0 wins. Or no, the first one, they both took towers. Yeah, it was 2-1, 2-1, and then 1-0.
Very close. So we're going to be jumping into the match right now. For the third match, the scores are 1-1. Princess in the back doing princess things. It's kind of interesting how Ivan prefers to plant the Mega Minion in the middle. It makes it easier to kite with skeletons and everything else when he's not planted on the edge.
Yeah, you can get very aggressive how left those skeletons are in the arena.
Very aggressive. Mega Minion coming on the right side, minions on the left side with the miner to tank for 2 minions. Unfortunately, that Mega Minion does tank that 1 minion, so the tower does not suffer much damage at all.
Let's see what his answer is. A miner and Mega Minion right back. Minion Horde. Okay, every type of minion is in that deck.
Fireball missed 1 minion, but that's okay because that tower is going to take it out with no sweat. Looks like Rom has been slowly chipping away. He did get that miner to deal some chip damage and then Fireball, so it's at 1700 health right now, so it could be pretty even.
So he's got almost an all-air deck with the miner. We know Rom has that same deck, unless it's miraculously one different card, so his log's really not going to be that useful in this match here. He can push the miner, but justifying that is going to be kind of hard.
Yeah, he does have the Inferno planted right there. So, once it pops, he's going to send in the miner just like that.
Mega Minion. That was a good way to shut that down without having to bring his Fireball out. Now he could bring the miner Fireball back to him again, and that's going to add up to more damage.
Yep, he has 3 elixir now to send in the miner right there. Perfect timing for the Mega Minion, but that miner gets countered by that Mega Minion very hard. And that log taking out that Ice Spirit, not bad. That
Mega Minion, it won't make it if there's no other support. Yeah, so that's fine. Okay.
As long as it's been hit at least once, then the tower can take it out. Again with that frontal...
Super aggressive Inferno.
Exactly.
That's as far as you can put it along the wall.
It actually is
because of
that one rock.
Yeah. That's an expo position almost.
That miner's still slowly chipping away. Those skeletons were planted a little bit too late for the miner to target the
So
skeletons.
Ram's ideal push could be coming up right here. It's miner, Fireball, Princess, Mega Minion. That's exactly what he wants, that combo. It was perfect. Because then the Princess can splash. Oh, the minions are going to take it out.
What a nice plan on the edge. The Inferno locked onto the Lava Hound instead of the minions, so that Mega Minion's going to clip away at all those pups and everything in one shot.
He has to use the Fireball defensively, so when you see the Fireball go off defensively, Ram's defense didn't go exactly to plan. Well, more like Ivan figured out a way to master that wall Inferno.
Exactly. It's a very close match right now. He's planting a bit of a more aggressive Lava Hound this time.
That Princess is going to walk away.
He might lightning the Inferno Tower this time, right there.
And here comes that miner.
And those skeletons is distracting that Mega Minion with such value.
There we see the log. I was going to say it's going to be rare to see it played, but that was a desperation log because he knows he can't get it within lightning range.
Yep, 346 health, and he's in trouble. Actually, he just needs to send in the log and the lightning again, so he's just cycling back to the lightning by planting those Mega Minions in the back.
Yeah, he's probably just going to avoid the Lava Hound. Yep. There it is.
There you go. Playing the cheapest cards that he had just to cycle back to the lightning.
All right, so Ivan up 2-1. Very close games. I don't know. That wall-mounted Inferno defense versus the Miner Fireball push onslaught.
It was. And the reoccurring theme in that was that he kept sending in the Miner, and it was slowly chipping away at everything.
Yep.
And every now and then, every second Lava Hound push, maybe 2 or 3 pups would get onto the tower, and then it chip it very slowly. So it wasn't quite a big push.
Yeah, and every time he had to Fireball on defense, there was always a random number of pups left. It's kind of hard when you have like a Mega Minion in one spot and the tower to predict where they're all going to be and or hit them all. But this has been some Tier 1 Lava Hound gameplay and Tier 1 Miner gameplay.
Yeah, we can expect no less from Ivan and Rom.
Yeah, these guys know what's up. This is going to be, I can already tell, this fourth group here, this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see some cool stuff. I don't want to say something yet, but I'll say it when we're watching, if we watch Surgical Goblin. He told me something funny before this. You'd laugh at it. We're just waiting for them to queue up their next decks.
Yeah,
and our seats are rumbling.
So we have Just Dance in the back right now, and it's magnitude 4 right now.
Since it is later in the day, if you guys are just joining us for the first time all weekend or all day, ESWC today is putting on day 2 of day 3. The final will be tomorrow. It's their first time broadcasting Clash Royale from Paris Games Week. It's the 6th time they've put on events here. Just Dance, Street Fighter, CSGO, and I don't know if the Overwatch was the Overwatch.
Overwatch was there. Blizzard was there.
Yeah.
So speaking about that, what were the prizes for tomorrow's?
Yeah, we got cut off right before these matches here. It's going to be 5,000 for first, 2,500 for second, 1,500 for third, and 1,000 for fourth. So
total $10,000 for the 4 contestants, and 16 of them are going to compete. Of those 4 groups, the top 4 were selected.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very heated. They might define a bit of the meta tomorrow.
Hopefully we get our sneak peeks done as early as all I got to say, because we're going to have a hype of a day tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. These guys look so concentrated right now. I
think they're calculating on who to counter who, so they're thinking, I'm going to counter this, so I'm going to play rock, but he's going to play paper, so I'm going to play scissors, but he knows I'm going to play that, so I'm going to play rock again.
I thought he was really good with the hog rocket.
That was a very good play, so we're going to be jumping right into the match right now. Again with the Mega Minion in the middle. How do you feel about that?
I see what you're saying. It goes towards the center like a hound, but seems to be okay with it.
Very interesting Lava Hound. He could play a very aggressive Inferno Tower in the middle. Looks like he might have said oops.
Drops it right on the tower there.
Yeah.
Those pups don't have to go far once they take it out, so he has to put a Mega Minion down.
This time, Rom has guards to counter the Miner. He must have been very frustrated at the Miner chip damage from the last game, so he's like, all right, I'm never letting the Miner hit me again, so I'm bringing in the guards.
And that whole push with arrows, look how much damage it does, not even 100.
Yep. Now they're both queuing up. Ivan will have the Lava Hound in rotation after 1 card, or 2 cards.
Expo, yes! Here we go. Okay, Expo. It has all the telltale signs of it. Fire Spirit's going to take out the minion horde. The log won't do much. Oh, they don't take it out. I was pumped. You could tell. But look at even with the minions sitting on it.
He was forced to play minions too because the Fire Spirits did clip some of those minion hordes. So that 1 Expo locking onto the tower did over 1,000 damage. Just under 1,000 actually, but...
Yeah. Within 40, so we can't blame you.
Yep. I just got too excited there. So he does have 2 more cards.
You gotta take that pulp out. Inferno Tower Expo classic combo. If he sees the Hound coming and he puts the Expo down, he can put the Inferno Tower just in front of it. But with that situation, you don't have to because it's locked on the tower and there's no zap in the other deck. There is Lightning, which will reset it, but he doesn't have a ground troop for it to target because he has an all-air deck.
I could be in trouble for that. Despite that Lightning shaving off 70% of that Expo's health, it still did 1,000 damage right there. So with the Inferno, that Lava Hound is just going to get destroyed if that Mega Minion doesn't take it out in time. Miner going in, and Rom mispredicts the guards, so that Miner does slowly chip away at it, but it's not a big deal because he's at a huge advantage right now.
But there's a full-blown Mega Minion right there.
Oh, no.
That's as bad as having a mini-peck on your tower.
4 hits on the tower. That was insane amount of damage.
I'm going to call it now. He's got a rocket.
There's a high chance he's just going to let it rock right now, so...
The log and rocket are pretty common in this Expo deck. I wonder if he modified it because he knows there's not much to log.
Yeah, and
It could very well be a fireball as well.
there
so.
there could be a chance. You might be right on that where there's a log, but he's playing an all-air deck, so the only thing that he can log is the miner.
Fireball comes
right
out.
There. And with that Expo targeting the tower, there's no chance for Ivan to come back from there. Rom takes the win for the second round, so the scores are going to be 2-2 now.
What a way to start Group 4.
Yeah.
2-2, and we've seen Hog Rocket, we've seen Expo Fireball, some Miner Control, and a lot of Lava Hounds.
Yeah, we've basically seen most of the categories in this one match just right now.
You could say Ivan is Houndini.
I guess so.
You can tell we haven't slept much last night, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the next one in just a few here. What do you think they're bringing out for Game 5?
I'd like to see the Hog Rider again.
Yeah.
That was just such great value with making his opponent on his rotation. So
Yeah.
he knew what cards his opponent had and knew when to play the Hog Rider.
I'd say if you're worried the Expo is not leaving, add the Tombstone to your deck.
Yeah.
It'll distract it at least a little bit. And maybe take out minions or minion horde, because that's a lot of overkill air.
He did need some sort of ground tank. In my opinion, if he had an Ice Golem, that would have been just perfect.
Yeah.
Ice Golem and Lightning, 8 Elixir, it would defend the Expo and buy him some more time.
Definitely. A little bit of chatter between the two. Well, I don't know.
So they're just sorting things out right now, but their match should be coming up very soon.
Yeah, so what else have we been seeing that's been crazy today?
I haven't seen enough Rockets today. I love Rocket, and I remember when the leaderboards in January were, the highest person was at 2,500, and I managed to get to 2,000 with just a Rocket.
Oh,
It was back when there was you could put every spell in your deck. So I had Rocket, Fireball, all these spells in the deck, and back then the spells did 60% damage to your tower, and within a week, that deck that I don't want to say I made it, but I did play it a lot, and within a week it really got nerfed just because everyone was playing it. So they nerfed every single spell from 60% down to 40%.
that reminds me of the beta before the game was out where they didn't do reduced damage.
Even worse than that.
When you could just mirror rocket, lightning, just cycle the king tower. You didn't even go for an arena tower.
What else from beta was there? Because
I mean, I guess like there was killed cards, like there was more defensive action. There was a giant bomb, like the skeleton drops, but just as a bomb.
I heard that there were traps. Is that true?
The giant bomb, you would just place it down and it would blow up with everything coming in.
That is nuts.
It was it promoted way too much defensive gameplay.
So is that the same giant bomb that the giant skeleton had?
It looked more like the one from Clash of Clans.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was pretty fun to play. It's just like you had spells like Rocket and that to just shut down pushes, and it was miserable to face.
I noticed that after the global launch that they've kind of deviated away from defensive decks where Tesla dominated, Giant Skeleton dominated. Giant Skeleton used to set off in 1 second and that could just deny everything coming in. I remember back in March, I would draw half of my games and it was...
Yeah, I guess that isn't the best experience, so
and
probably
especially
better.
if I'm trying to farm for 10 crown chests,
Yeah.
it would take me 4 hours because I kept drawing with everyone being so defensive. So
You could still draw quite a bit if you know what you're doing and you're facing higher levels and you shut them down, but you just don't have the card levels to get to the tower. What do you think about a legendary defense? Now we have 9. After Inferno Dragon, it was a complete deck. With the Graveyard, we have 1 extra. You have to make your own.
funny you're speaking about that because in Phone Cats' chat, Clash Royale, the official Supercell account, actually commented on there and they started answering some questions.
Oh.
And one of the questions that they answered was, have you guys considered building a legendary building? And they said that is in consideration, possibly. So they're working it out. They might not release it if it's too overpowered, but
That'd be sweet, though.
they're kind of experimenting.
You've got spells and troops. It could be a spawn or it could be a defense. I don't know. If it spawned legendary units. What if it spawned a random legendary unit like every 30 seconds?
That would have to cost
That would have
11
to
elixir.
be in a funny mode or something.
Yeah. They should have a funny mode. for
Sparky.
that. Yeah.
Lava Hound.
Yep.
That would be hilarious. Minor, but then it's in the back of your base. All right. It looks like we're back up in action. There must have just been something going on here. They're just going to be queuing up for their next battle here in just a few. Rom has requested, and we'll be... oh, they're starting up. Want to go ahead and spectate that? Yep, and then we'll throw that on the screen for you.
Jumping into the final match with both scores at 2-2.
Oh,
Going in with the Goblin Barrel, a completely different deck Ivan is playing. Despite there being a Princess and a Mega Minion, that Goblin Barrel still did 300 damage. It looks like Ivan could be carrying a Zap Bait deck with Minion Horde and Skarmy, but we haven't seen that quite yet, so it's a little bit too early to say. But that's usually my first instinct when I see such an aggressive Goblin Barrel off the bat.
Yeah, and then when I saw the Inferno, I thought if he plays that Expo again, he's going to punish him with the Inferno on it right there, because unless you get a good prediction, it shuts it down most of the time.
Very interesting. He's playing a Frontal Princess. I haven't seen a Princess in this kind of Zap Bait deck yet in this tournament.
Minor to the front. Goblin Barrel deep. No, just a little deep.
And the arrows shut down that Minor as well. It's very rare to see the arrows do so much damage to a tank, or to finish off a tank. Is that Mega Minion can get one hit off? No. Ivan's not going to let him do it with
He doesn't have
skeleton.
arrows or Princess, but he has Log.
So they're both running low-cost cycle decks with Zap Bait in there.
Bunch of fans on the field doing confetti things. And then there's the Princess.
In the back doing Princess things. Hog Rider going in the middle. I wonder why.
I've seen that a lot, and I don't know if it's so it can get to the defense that they're going to put down quicker.
Yeah. But usually you only do that if you know they have a defensive structure. So that Minor in the back from...
Like an Inferno.
Yeah. That Minor is just doing so much chip damage with that Princess. Ivan applying constant pressure. The log doesn't allow that Goblin Barrel to do any hits. With both their elixirs so low, they're never at 10 elixir. They're always cycling back and forth, back and forth. But Ivan's going to reach 10 elixir first, and he's going to make the first move, possibly with a Princess in the front, just like that.
Ouch, the other Princess is walking away. A couple tiles forward, and she would have been locked for a draw. Now, I guess the Ice Wizard is good against the Minion Horde.
And Rom just mispredicted that Minor plan, so it's going to cost him a couple hits.
He's playing the Ice Wizards down, but that's really, I think, his best bet for a Minion Horde.
That was a very interesting arrow from Ivan's part.
Just that
Inferno Tower and Skeleton Army. There's no way that Hog is going to get past.
Rom just threw arrows as well at the Inferno Tower looking for the Skarmy, and it came out after.
Ivan planted the Minor in the same spot twice in a row, but let's see if he'll change it up, because that's very critical. Not that it matters, because he takes the tower with the Goblin Barrel.
Wow, he let this tower go because he knew he could get back to the Hog before the Inferno was up, but the Minion Horde shut it down nonetheless, and Ivan takes this one 3-2. That was like watching a chess match where they were looking at what the person was going to do 3 cards down the line. They weren't playing what was on the field at all.
Yeah, they were just trying to outpredict each other's predictions.
And
are they going to play Skeleton Army? Because I need to predict the arrows, but I need to predict his arrows, so I'm going to plant down a Minor instead.
Like the fact that they both dropped Princesses at the same time, it's almost like he was waiting for him to drop. It was crazy. That was. It's only going to get crazier as we get closer to Sunday.
One of the biggest pivotal points in that game in the last game, was when Ivan planted down that Goblin Barrel, and it just got so much damage off because he didn't have any answers to it. And the Princess in the front did get some chip damage off, slowly but surely throughout the whole game.
And then there was just a couple random things, like the one Princess walking away. Some things where he could have avoided using
Rom's Princess,
saving a couple cards. Well, that's going to do it for that one. That's going to be round 1. We could take a look at the other players, but we're going to be having another matchup here in just a little bit.
Yep.
Anything else for this one to analyze?
It was pretty back and forth with their cycles.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked this series in the beginning. I didn't really. The ending was just crazy cycling. But
it was.
The Lava Hound gameplay, the Hog Rocket.
in
So
this,
Hog Rocket and Expo were the two that got through.
yeah, in the last game, it was just Ivan's impenetrable Inferno Tower would not let the Hog through. And even if he tried to counter the Inferno Tower with supporting units like a Mega Minion flying across the river, Ivan would still have the Skeleton Army to take care of the Hog anyways.
Yeah, we need that 6% Inferno Tower in the game, Supercell, please. Don't
November
wait till the
1st.
first.
That's right.
Okay. More people are going to be setting up. Looks like scores are being reported. And I think we'll be back when match 2 is underway, right?
That's right.
All right. So until then, guys, we'll see you for match 2 with our next contestants. Stick around for the rest of Group 4 this afternoon.
Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. So we're going to be having 2 new contestants right on the podium. There's going to be Ming and Matt, right?
How is that for a quick turnaround, folks? We are back with some more of Group number 4.
Looks like you had to take off your sweater for that.
It's getting hot. We're sitting under LED lights for the last 2 days. It starts off chilly, but man, this Paris Games Week Expo gets packed, and it's starting to get a little hot. These matches are getting closer. And the elixir trades are being more positive.
And the tile placements are just so perfect every time.
You love to acknowledge perfection.
I love the perfect tile placements.
We're going to have Matt and Ming.
That's right. Ming from Shanghai.
Oh, Lava Hounds are going to be coming back. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to pull up really quick this clan here so I can see when they start. But we'll let you guys know. So what do we see that worked against Hounds? Expo and Hog.
Inferno Tower, if you can execute the defense, but there's always that miner that sneaks in the back anyways. It doesn't care if the miner pops or not.
We've seen miners chip. What's your favorite way to stop a miner?
Anything on top of him. You usually have...
That won't take tower damage and doesn't lose elixir.
It's basically anything. You can use skeletons and ice spirit. You can use guards, mini P.E.K.K.A., and you can counterattack from that. You do have about a quarter of a second to react to that, but you have to have the unit hovering right in that area.
Yeah. That'll be...
And this is where the phones come into advantage, where you have that shorter throw distance.
Yeah. It's either shorter throw or have a finger where you want it to go.
All right, so it looks like the opponents do have their decks ready to go.
We're jumping in. Here we go. Matt and Ming, game 1.
Both of them standing at 10 elixir. Lava Hound in the back, and then a
baby dragon up front. He's just going for some quick tower damage.
I'm going to call this right now. Matt has a golem deck with the baby dragon.
Oh, I love it. I'll let you try to call this one.
Tombstone, definitely that golem deck. So Ivan's going in with that Lava Hound. It's not going to get pulled by the Tombstone because that Tombstone actually needs to be planted one tile to the right.
There
like
it
I
is.
said, the Golem predicted
You're
from a
4
baby
for
dragon.
7. I just made that up. Inferno Dragon Lava Hound. I love it. This is going to be sweet.
Amazing.
Golem deck versus Inferno Dragon.
And then that Golem isn't going to deal any death damage to the Inferno Dragon just
the
because...
archers are pretty good right there on defense.
Yep. How did I call it? I saw a baby dragon with one card down and I already knew he had a Golem.
Yeah, you were right. You were going to say that Inferno Dragon plant was where the Golem won't path underneath it because of the Tombstone, right?
Yep. So what Matt's going to have to do now if he has Tombstone back is he's going to need to plant it one tile from the river and 3 tiles from the King's Tower. That's good news for him that both the Mega Mins are taken out, so he doesn't have to worry about any of that. Oh, that is
He gets
so
extra
perfect.
value because of a half a second or maybe a second difference in the swings.
Very interesting that he's planting the
Well, we see
Tombstone to
archers.
counter the trickle of the other Tombstone.
Okay, so he has arrows. I don't know. They must have just... they were probably in rotation, but he now is going to use those for the pups.
This is going to be a very close match. What's very interesting about Matt's deck is that he doesn't have anything that's really zappable or you can use a log on, so the archers won't die to zap or log. And the Mega Minion is a superior minion in terms of tanking. Inferno Dragon going in the back, that's very interesting. I personally prefer not to play the Inferno Dragon so early, just because they could plant anything in the front. But if it locks onto the Golem, then that's very good news for him. With the archers distracted by that Lava Hound, that Inferno Dragon's going to town. Is that death damage going to hurt the dragon? It does a little bit. And meanwhile, with the Lava Hound on the bottom, tanks everything. Lightning goes in.
Drops the lightning, but the archers are so low, it goes for the Tombstone.
Wow.
We all know that if you hit the archers, it would have been better.
Yep.
That's the quote of the day if you're just joining us.
What we found out in the tournament is that if you lightning the archers, you're going to win.
Yeah, hit the tower and 2 archers, take out the back end of their push, and you're okay.
A little bit late on the Inferno plant, or
I'm concerned,
Tombstone.
how do you get a Golem past an Inferno Dragon when you don't have a zap or lightning? And if he does have lightning, is he going to play it soon?
He's going to need to do some very good defensive plays right now for some positive trades before he can even think about putting down the Golem. Right now, there's just so much chip damage going on.
Oh, he thought
Golem
about
in
it,
the
and
front.
it's been done. That Golem needs to outpace that Mega Minion. It won't.
No.
It won't. And the arrows, and then the log can take out the archers
Just
if he
look
wants.
at the value of those archers. He had to use the logs to take them out. Even the arrows couldn't take it out. Those Golemites going in, they do some small punches, but...
Now, this is what he's doing, the same thing that Trimax was doing earlier. He has to put everything at the bridge, Matt. Otherwise, the lightning and the arrows are just going to cycle once and take his tower.
That's right. If Matt doesn't keep applying pressure, what's going to happen is that...
Look at that, right
Ming
at the bridge.
Is going to have enough to lightning twice. Or lightning and arrows.
What are arrows? They're just under 100, 98, right?
Same damage as the log, pretty much.
So, yeah, he would need to log arrows and lightning.
Lightning on that Inferno Dragon is not going to stop much. It did stun it a little bit from reaching maximum
Oh my
damage.
gosh, the Golem is
16
gonna
damage.
take
He's
it
going to
with
get one more
16
hit.
health versus
Who's
the
going to get
lava.
the first one? He gets it with the Golem Mites.
Oh my
20
gosh.
health. Wow, that Lava Hound.
Was basically a Spear Goblin versus a mini Golemite hit.
Oh my goodness. That was intense.
What a
that Lava
start.
Hound was just one hit away. 20 damage. Lava Hound does the damage of one Spear Goblin.
That is so insanely
And one
close.
Spear Goblin wasn't enough for that.
What have we seen? One person needing to cycle a couple spells versus a person keeping up insane lane pressure at the bridge. And it's worked out for the bridge person twice.
And Matt has just been applying so much pressure that Ivan wasn't able to cycle to log, arrow, and lightning it. He could have sniped it with those 3 spells combined.
It was the most annoying amount of health, though, where it was all 3 of his spells he needed.
He needed all 3, but he would never have all 3 at the same time because he would need to use that defensively.
I think it was because there were archers in his deck. He couldn't take them out easy enough.
Yeah, he had to log and arrow the archers at one point.
Okay, this is going to be a
Jumping
good round.
into the second match. Best out of 5, by the way, so Matt has 1 victory so far. Miner going in. How do you feel about splitting Skeleton Army? Because on the left
right
side,
there it looked okay, but
on the left side, it didn't seem like it provided any value at all.
Yeah, maybe in double elixir when you could support it a little bit more.
Yeah, very aggressive Princess plant in the front. Gets logged out, so the log deals just as much damage to the Princess for 1 less elixir on the tower. Golem going in. It looks like he does have an Inferno Tower.
deep and away pull right there. Both towers can lay into it. Yeah, they're just going to abandon that golem.
When was that balance update? The last one that we had a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, now that the golem does death damage, it can kill minions in one hit if they're hovering on top of the golem. Goblin Barrel going in from that side.
Now you got me thinking about the date, so I'm just going to drop it. It's not adding to anything right now. It was recently, guys. So here we go. We've got...
This is the third time we've seen Ice Golem being played. I think it needs to be played more often. It's just provides so much defensive value.
It's only going to get better.
Especially after November 1st, the Ice
balance changes, yeah.
The Ice Golem is going to kill a skeleton army in one explosion for a positive elixir trade.
And we mapped out a battle earlier where that would have changed the course of...
history.
A mini P.E.K.K.'s life or something, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was something that the baby dragon was shooting, yeah.
It was game altering.
Yeah.
So what's really interesting is that
Of
Matt
history.
is doing a 4 tile plant, 4 from the river and 2 from the tower. He could have planted it 3 away from the tower just because there's no support units.
That's always scary seeing that Mega Minion following up those Golemites just at full health. Even one swing is worth it.
But what's really cool is that the Ice Golem slowed that Mega Minion by 35%, so it only got 1 hit off. Otherwise, it would have gotten a little bit more. Which is kind of funny to think about because an Ice Golem is a ground unit.
Wow, that Miner Lightning combo, that was interesting. What happens if they put down guards? You still go commit with the Lightning? Again, he's not pulling it as far as he can, but he wants the archers to aggro on, right?
Yeah, he could stand to plant it 1 tile below and still aggro onto the archers. But he's not going to let that Inferno go down with that Ice Golem tanking for those archers. Very value log.
Will just get them barely because of the Ice Golem.
But that Mega Minion is at full health. 1 strike, 2 strikes. If it gets 3 strikes, it's over for them. Goblin Barrel will not be enough to finish off that tower. Last second Miner, it's going to get a swing off if he's lucky, but...
That tower had so much surrounding it right there. The Tombstone, the
just
archers,
amazing play.
the Baby Dragon. These are the plays we've been waiting for right here. These are some elite moves.
Ming goes and takes the victory for the second match for a score of 1-1.
What do you think he could have done better with the Inferno Tower placements?
He was playing them too far forward, and and not to say that he doesn't know the knowledge, but when you're up there on stage, there's a lot of pressure. The cameras, the lights are all staring at you. Everyone is watching you on the spot.
Because I picked that fact just because it was the only thing you sounded like you didn't fully agree with when we were watching that live.
Yeah, the Inferno definitely should have been planted 1 tile below, but...
That's tough. The Mega Minion defense required a few too many of his cards.
Yeah.
It was just...
And the only reason why I'm so attuned with the tile placement is because I probably spend 80 hours on each video, so I'm...
And you you've played the Graveyard of what, 400 times already?
Probably 500 with this morning.
It was 100 yesterday, it's 500 by now.
Yeah.
Even on our 0.56 megabit.
It'll be a little bit over 9,000 gameplays by tomorrow morning.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, you're going to be ready for the King's Cup.
My body's going to be ready for that.
That'll be fun.
So,
I'm going to criticize every Inferno Tower placement of yours in the King's Cup.
But there are going to be some very skilled players in there. Some of the tournament players I know that are going to be attending, there's about at least 5 of them. Combined, they have 500,000 tournament cards won. So it's going to be very tough competition for us.
What's that in perspective? Tournaments, was it for 15,000 chess cards?
Yeah, but they do have over 100,000 cards won in grand challenges as well.
Wow, that's pretty up there.
Consistently scoring first place. These guys are the elite of the elite.
That's going to be quite the grind. And like we've been saying for the last 2 days, we're looking for something to clarify what to use. And there really is no clarity. It's anything is winning right now.
Yeah.
We're seeing Expos win, Hog Rockets, Lava Hounds, Miners. The Miners seem a little unstoppable right now. I
just love how there is no defined meta. There's no rock that beats everything, whereas last time it was Giant Bowler is the best deck. But
yeah, that's interesting. They're about to start up, but now that I think about it, the Golem has won 2 in this series.
It has. It's going to start seeing a scene.
Pretty cool. Yeah, Golem's
Phone
coming
Cats
back.
in the chat. Big shout out to Phone Cats right now.
Yo, P-Cats.
Matt going in with that princess in the front. Countered by the log, they do about equal damage, but now Matt has elixir disadvantage. Bowler in the back.
That's a good way to make up for elixir disadvantage.
Yeah, let's see some whole wheat action from that bowler right now. Going into the Ice Spirit. The
Hog. Straight to the tower, and oh man, that's almost 4 swings, or was that 3? I think losers 3. All right, Mega Minion. The bowler is still alive, coming back.
And just look at that Inferno placement where
Oh,
it
the archer
aggroes
goes
on both
around
sides.
the outside.
That is beautiful.
That's
But that one archer just doing work on that one tower. It did so much damage with that bowler tanking in front. That
one
Inferno,
archer did almost as much as a hog with 3 swings.
it did. Just that one bowler slipping past.
So what looked like an elixir deficit in the beginning, it's all
So
right.
it looks like Ming is playing that modified giant bowler deck that he was playing in the Shanghai tournament. The biggest difference is that they're now carrying a tombstone with a Mega Minion and a log. So
Yeah,
that
this is
that
difference.
giant doesn't get through with that Inferno Tower, and then that bowler's just going to get demolished by that Mega Minion unless he has a lightning.
Wow. So he elects to let that half-health bowler run its course on the tower because he has the tombstone backing it right there.
That's right.
Finds the lightning of worthy value.
Things are going to get a little bit more heated up with 20 seconds left until overtime. Ming is going to have more elixir to deal with a bigger push. And Mats is going to have to keep cycling and applying that pressure with his low-cost Hog Cycle deck right now. That's the downside of planting the Princess so front. Gets taken over by the archers, and they're both... That archer on the right side is this value.
A single archer is as annoying to deal with as like spear goblins just coming down the lane, even 2 spear gobs.
Yeah.
You don't want to waste a card on it, basically.
So we're going to be expecting a bowler very soon. He could have enough elixir to save up for a lightning, which we could expect very soon. He might be possibly waiting for him. No, he does not wait for the Inferno Tower damage to ramp up. So that giant doesn't make it to the Inferno Tower. But
Even
that
with the 4-3 on that
look
one
at that
instead of
bowler.
the 4-2.
Goes for a strike, takes out every single skeleton
He's
army
going
with
to
that
bring out the
perfect
rocket
angle.
and catch the bowler, sorry.
That is Matt playing the rocket for the first time, but he's at a huge disadvantage now. Does he have enough to cycle back to that Inferno Tower, or will that giant make it to the tower? With that bowler providing so much value, no.
Princess clips it. Ouch, this giant Mega Minion right here. Oh, he predicted the Scar Me.
So with that prediction, that hog is not going to be enough to deal damage to finish off the tower, and Ming finishes off with that clutch Mega Minion
Wow.
right there.
Those prediction arrows definitely just put Ming in a 2-1 position, but it wasn't even that. It was that whole match. He was shutting down that hog pretty well. The
Yep.
bowler is very difficult with the tombstone pairing for that hog.
It is.
Yeah.
But that prediction arrows in the end was just so clutch.
Yeah, just like no
He knew-
thinking, just threw him at it. Yep.
Yeah, because he knew that he didn't have the Inferno, so the next logical solution would be
Yeah.
to
If you
Scar
had put
Me.
down a card because you didn't have the Inferno and you're fighting for Elixir, you're going to go for the 3 over the 5.
Yeah. With the Inferno, it doesn't reach maximum damage until 4 seconds in. And
Yep.
he knew that, Matt knew that that wouldn't be enough time to take out the giant to save it in time, whereas the Skeleton Army deals burst damage immediately on the spot. So that was the most logical.
It's
Defense.
cool that they're very skilled with a lot of different decks.
Yeah.
So they've both won with Golem and then Giant Bowler for Ming. So
It's such a close match between both of them. They have just really good technical aspect of the game, and I just love watching these matches.
I'd like to see them both play Golem against each other because there hasn't been a Golem versus Golem.
There was a little earlier.
Oh, well, just with these guys, I mean.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a fun grind. But it's kind of just like playing Giant versus Giant. You want to just get the bigger counter push going.
Yeah.
Oh, man. These are some good matches.
Right now, they're just settling in on which decks they need to use, so there'll be another moment.
What's up, Twitch chat? Thanks, you guys, for tuning in today. We got you on the screen over here. We'll answer some questions in the intermission if there's any downtime. But we've got Game 4 going in right now.
Game number 4, best of 5. If Ming takes this, it's going to be a good game for Matt. Going in with the Archer split in the center. Both of them with the Tombstone. But they're not doing that spiral thing that you crave for.
It's a positive Elixir trade.
Not
And-
quite yet.
It's only when the Tombstones are going to opposite lanes and they perfectly outpace the Tower's arrow. But it's Golem versus Golem with
Yep.
Tombstones, so wish granted.
It's like they heard you. They're running that log baby dragon deck. They're both most likely running an identical, if not exact deck.
And this is not an easy deck. I queued it up and played one. I mean, obviously it takes some skill to learn it, but I put these cards in the deck. It's not like an auto win or anything. It's definitely
No,
takes a
they're-
high skill cap.
It's a high skill ceiling deck where you have to have very specific conditions where I've noticed that you never plant the Golem unless you have a Tombstone on the map first, kind of to bank up your elixir, so to speak. And look at that big push right there. That Mega Minion dealt so much damage. 1 minute in, and that tower is almost done. And Ming has a lightning, so this is a very bad news for Matt right now. This is the same Ming Shen from the Shanghai tournament. Do you think he'll be winning another prize?
I mean, it's very likely. Up 2-1 right now. Up over 1,000 tower damage. He's got the lightning, so he's not even going to worry about that other tower. Matt's looking a little stressed. Ming's looking pretty focused. What devices are they playing on for an orange juice comparison?
Looks like Matt is playing with the phone and Ming is playing with an iPad. Usually with the phone, you have more thumb throw distance, so you have faster reactor time.
Yeah,
Or
these
so
are a
they
little
say.
different deck-wise here.
Looks
I'm
like
not
there's an
seeing
ice golem.
archers, unless... Yeah, there's no arrows up top, so just a little difference there.
And
it makes sense because there's nothing to arrow.
Matt's tombstone didn't pull that golem, so that golem is just punching away at that tower, dealing so much damage. Ming is dealing so much right now. With a frontal golem plant, very aggressive. I feel like Ming knows that he can't really defend against the golem right now. So 30 seconds left. Do you think he's going to lightning the right side?
I don't know if he has to, but if he wants to make it 2-0.
Just applying so much pressure. There's not much Matt can do right now. The
Down
golem
goes
explosion
the
just takes
tower.
out that tower.
That baby dragon push is a pretty good one right there, but
That ice golem was
too far
planted
behind
just
at
a
this
little
point.
bit late.
Yeah. There's the lightning. So the decks differ between arrows
An ice golem.
and ice golem. And if you think about it, there's nothing to arrow in the ice golem deck.
And there we
So,
have it. Ming just
hurts.
annihilates that golem versus golem deck. Do you think that the ice golem and the arrows made any difference?
I do. I think if it was a golem versus lava hound matchup and you had the arrows in your deck, then you'd be sitting okay. You have a
Yeah.
couple different things you're going to want to
It was-
arrow in that
It
situation.
was actually a little risky that Ming wasn't playing the arrows, but
Yeah.
he was obviously calculating that and
'Cause
trying to predict what his
He
opponent
was
had.
set against a lava hound or a miner like cheap bait cycle deck.
Yeah.
Because the arrows and the log. So he was ready for multiple different swarm units, but Ming took a gamble, I guess, and it paid off.
Yep. So that is the first round of the day for them.
Yeah, we've done. Yeah, I think that's still their first round.
So they have
we're
four
pulling
more
more
rounds.
matches. This fourth group here for you guys to watch live. But yeah, the first round's wrapping up. We've seen 2 different matchups.
Yeah. So it's the same Swiss style kind of format where they're going to have 5 matches,
Yeah.
or 5 rounds. Of those 5 rounds, they're going to be playing best of 5. So Ming takes it for the first round with a victory.
Getting some Twitch chat right now as I'm just checking in with you guys. Surgical rocket glitch. Everyone's talking about this rocket glitch. We're gonna have to.
I'm going to not say that rocket glitch out loud. It's too much of an advantage.
Oh.
There's also a zap glitch.
Oh, I didn't even know what they were talking about. That's why I was like, was it in the tournament or what's going on here? Oh, we'll go ahead. Ming is good. Ming is pro. Yeah, those were some high-level gameplay battles. Let's see if I'm going to pull up these charts and we'll
Didn't
see.
Ming win something around 50,000?
Oh, yeah, I think it was over 50,000 and when you convert it to dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
And I'm Canadian, so that's a lot of funny money for me.
That's a graveyard and Inferno Dragon, the 2 that you need.
That's all I need. If I won that tournament, I could have afforded a graveyard by now.
Yep.
But
Let's pull up these brackets. I'm going to go to Group 4. And then we'll see here how many have been reported. All
right now, it looks like
Wow,
the number 1
so-
place is Awk with 2 wins.
There's
2
already
rounds of wins.
reports of, people finishing round 2. So this is so you guys can see here. You can see it's Group 4.
And by the way, you
And
can
the
access
day.
this yourself. If you type in the chat !bracket, it'll pull up the link to this website.
You'll go to tournament. So we've got Awk. A lot of these haven't been reported, obviously. But a few players have played 2 rounds. You could see Ivan right there with the win. You could see Baby Star with the win. Yeah,
Let's pull up Ivan's stats right now. See if this is the updated stat. Yep.
yeah.
And then let's check out Ming.
And then let's check out Ming. Matt and Ming.
So it looks like Ming stats haven't been updated quite yet, so he does have 2 round victories. Looking very good and promising for him.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. So we'll be back to that soon. We're gonna get another match set up, and then hopefully it's gonna be as close as these last couple have been. We saw a 3-2 and a 3-1.
Yeah.
Still, the battles felt closer than the end result, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's really interesting that Ming had the Ice Golem in that deck. I mean,
Yeah.
the balance change hasn't happened yet, so the Ice Golem doesn't take out the Skeleton Army, but
It's just a good, non-arrowable mini tank.
Yeah.
I mean, no tank is, but a good addition to the Golem deck.
and like I was saying yesterday, where that balance change is just so strong with the Ice Golem, it's gonna make it
Yeah.
so overpowered. It's kind of an indirect nerf to the
It's gonna
Skeleton
make
Army.
it so overpowered. You heard it here.
That's right. So it's really cool because the Ice Golem's gonna be able to tank maybe 2 shots from a Musketeer, and then when it pops, it's gonna kill all the skeletons for a positive elixir trade.
Yeah. All right, so there's just a bunch of commotion while we figure out the next round. So I guess we'll take another short one, but don't go anywhere because you saw how quick that last break was.
Yeah,
And,
hopefully we'll be able to spectate some surgical goblins.
Yep. And we'll go on from there. We'll see you guys as we continue the rest of Group 4.
Stay tuned.
Why do protein drinks taste chalky, then get worse? Introducing Protein Shots from 5 Hour Energy. Protein Shots from 5 Hour Energy are smooth and tasty and still deliver 21 grams of protein with 100 calories. They're great for workouts. So great that if you don't get up to 15% more reps, more laps, more distance, we'll give you your money back. Period. Protein Shots from 5 Hour Energy. Great taste, 100 calories, 21 grams of protein.
Get up, we're going out.
Dude, I made Totino's pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls!